woke up this morning to snow on the mountains around us, so it just felt super fitting to drink my coffee out of my mug. It is a Christmas mug. All is calm, all is bright, but it's also just a good word for today. Really, it really is. I shared with you a couple videos that we had changed things up. We switched things up in our homeschool. This video, I want to share with you how things are going. We switched it up, so how's it going? How's it working out? Stay tuned. Let's talk about it. One of the big things we switched up this year, I guess these are kind of all big things, actually. We changed quite a bit. If this is your first time to our channel here at Simply Living It, I'm a homeschool mom. I've been homeschooling for almost 14 years. My oldest is a senior. He'll be graduating homeschool this year. And then I also have a 9th grader and a 6th grader, 3 boys, and I've been homeschooling basically from the very beginning. A first-time homeschool mom. I was not homeschooled. So there's been a whole journey of this homeschool life that I've been documenting on our channel here. So many videos that you can go back and search through. But today, just really want to talk about what we changed this year specifically and the reason why we changed. A mix of like teaching textbooks, Abeka, The Good and the Beautiful. You know, some years we kind of flopped that around. Used different things throughout the course of his homeschool journey, depending on where he was at. And we decided this year, I really wanted to do Denison algebra with him, the pre-algebra, because we've loved it. It's been so incredible for my 2 older boys. And so I really wanted to move my 6th grader into that also and not just waste time. But at the same time, I didn't want to move him so far ahead that it was just like, what in the world? What is this, Mom? You know? So we decided to go with Mr. D, and it was very spendy. The most I've spent on math curriculum in our homeschool thus far. But it looked really good, and I knew I needed to make a decision. And so I went that route. It's good. It's intro to pre-algebra. Bird just landed in my tree. It is intro to pre-algebra that he is doing, and it's Mr. D math, not to be confused with Denison or anything of that sort. It's kind of the same concept. It's very wordy compared to Denison, just like being straight up honest. And there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of book work. And so I go through and I pick what I want him to do, the ones he's good at, but also the ones that challenge him a little bit. But sometimes you get to the problems that challenge your kids and then it's too much. If there's like 20 of the exact same problem, I don't think that that's necessary. In our homeschool for our kids, that hammer it in and do 50 math problems in a day kind of really has always been a way that my kids have shut down. And that's why Denison has been incredible in our homeschool, because there are problems. There are math problems. It's not super wordy when it comes to the video lessons. It's just a very different style. And I really wish that they had 6th grade and 7th grade math through Denison algebra, but they do not. We are just working our way through Mr. D math. I think it's going to be a good fit for him. Some of the stuff I'm like, yes, I need you to answer all those problems. And other days it's like, do this problem, like I go through and circle it, like we've done with other curriculums in the past, and then we move on. So that's kind of where we're at with math. Another thing we switched up this year is homeschooling from 8 o'clock to noon. I told you guys that was our new schedule. We started out strong, get up early, have time with my husband, whatever that looked like, right? And then start breakfast and the kids would come out and we'd slowly get going on things. I would say now that we've been dealing with the busyness of hunting season and long nights, busy weekends of back and forth. My oldest is now pretty knee deep in his college apprenticeship course that he's doing. And so that looks a little bit different also. And the homework load looks different. So yes, our school time is from 8 to noon. There have been days we don't get started till 9. There have been days that we wake up and I'm like, we had such a busy weekend and it's all good. It's all family stuff, all putting meat in our freezer, right? But I can just tell, I can feel it when some days I'm a push through mom, like we're going to just push through it because this is life. But other days, depending on myself also, sometimes there are days where it's like, hey guys, today your school is going to be helping mom with chores around the house because things are getting busy and things are all over. And when I say busy, I don't mean like with useless, senseless stuff, like in a crazy way, right? But weekends are usually pretty busy for us in all the right ways. We're doing everything we love, being in the mountains, looking for animals to fill our freezer, and it's the greatest thing. But it does make the weeks look different because there's no day on the weekend for rest. So that looks different, but overall that schedule has worked really, really well, and it's been kind of fun. Today was a prime example of that. My boys get up, we have breakfast, everybody starts doing their morning devotion, we get started straight on math, and we do math first, and that's all three of my boys at the same time. Today was a prime example of the flexibility that homeschooling allows. For instance, our 8 to noon homeschool schedule, like our daily rhythm, right? My oldest leaves for work at noon, if you guys didn't know that. Those of you who are new, oldest is a senior. He's graduating, he works, he has for 2 years now. He leaves for work at noon. So his homeschool part of the day, like doing family studies, has to be done by noon. And that makes things a little bit challenging because we are family style learning here. We do unit studies and family subjects. The only thing he does independently, obviously, his electrical course for college, his math, and then any independent literature or that type of thing. Everything else we pretty much do all together. And so that does make it hard if we're having a morning where we're sleeping in or making things a little bit more chill to try and get stuff done. Like if he's not here, then there are certain subjects we don't do, and I'll pull in other things to do with my other boys. So it kind of looks different, but today was one of those days where we did our math, we did our devotion, and then we sat down. We're actually working through the Do Right Bible study from Not Consumed Ministries. I can link it down below if you're interested, but it's been really good to do together with my boys. And then it just led to a bunch of conversation about other things. And then, my boys are at the age now where there's girls and all the things. And so we just had a really good conversation. And a friend gave me the idea of talking to my kids and having a discussion with them about, their future wife and partner, and what do they see, like having this conversation, them and God, right? Like, what does that look like? What are you looking for? What is interesting to you in another person? What is, just different things. And it was a really good conversation. And that conversation lasted for like an hour. And even convictions, we talked about different convictions and things that people have, and how I want them to really be praying about their own personal convictions, right? Because everybody's relationship is different with the Lord. And while some of us have a lot of similar convictions, some can be totally different. And that's a personal thing that I'm still learning and discovering all about. But I think it's important for my kids to also know what that means and looks like. As we grow in our relationship with the Lord, I know a lot of those things will come to my boys. But for now, just getting their minds going, I'm like, that's your homework. We were supposed to do our Holocaust unit study, and we did our Bible time, and I got to talking, and then it was time for my oldest to leave. So, but it was good. It was full. It was rich. And then we watched World Watch News with my other two boys outside playing, and have moved on to other things. And so I'm here sharing this with you guys, but it's just truly beautiful how we can just adapt and make things fit how they need to fit. We also switched up, but the way we do things. I have flip-flopped from box curriculum to unit studies. Then there was a time that I tried to do both. Then there was time that I was like, I'm just doing unit studies. And then I slowly started falling back into the routine of we're adding in everything, because I had high schoolers now, and I need to, right? I need to do everything, and it's going to be heavy, and it's going to be miserable. And well, this year, I will tell you, we've gone again away from the big boxed curriculum idea and way of homeschooling our kids to really focusing in on interest-led unit studies that I choose, like the Holocaust unit study. My boys never really, they're pretty easy when it comes to, hey, this is what we're going to do. And they just kind of do it. If I ask them, what do you guys want to learn about? What do you want to, it's usually like, I want a science experiment class. Well, those are co-op. So that's where co-op comes into play in our homeschool, or like Spanish or things like that. But what we do here in our home is all family style learning. And so we're doing the Holocaust unit from Campfire Curriculums right now. We're just about to finish that up. And we're also at the same time doing we are doing a unit literature study that includes all kinds of things. And it's also, given the name, their literature study for the year. And so there's an essay and report and paragraphing and all kinds of stuff that they're learning while we're doing this, on top of learning about farming and food and all the things and the best way to grow things. And it's just been a really cool unit study. I've actually taken so much from it. It makes me want to go out and till up the whole front part of our property and just plant a giant garden and make it free for all. Like, come take food. That's how much this is like probably not a good book for me to read, because I'm so energized about just cooking good food and growing good food and getting away from all the things that are just contaminating everything and getting back to the basics. It's so encouraging to me, and I'm probably loving it way more than they are, I'm certain, but it's been really cool to do with them. So that's something, and it pulls in like YouTube videos and different stories, so it's not like you're just reading this book and it's just dull. We do it out loud. Either us together will read, I will read to them, or we'll listen to it in the car on the way to go to the cabin or whatever. And so I've loved it. I've really, really loved doing that with the boys. I think it's been really rich, and that's our literature. For my senior, for my freshman, my youngest is just listening in. He doesn't have any book work or anything that I printed out for him because it is a high school level. And so he just listens into what we're talking about or reading about, and he's gleaning from it, whatever he's gleaning from it. And then he has actually master books that I ordered for him. So he's doing master books, language lessons for living education at this point in time, mixed with co-op and all the other things. A lot of fun doing things completely different this year, and just allowed time and opportunity for good conversations, for growth in all kinds of things, for taking interest in things that they want to learn about and doing that together. And also, it's helped me to be accountable, knowing every day from 8 to noon, that's school time. And I do not block anything in that, like it's a time block, right? That's like our homeschool schedule, where from 8 to noon, there's no doctor's appointments. Obviously, some things come in between that, but for the most part, it's been really, really, really good and really rich. It's been a fun change. We did IEW. Both of my oldest boys have done 2 years, a year and a half of IEW, structure and style. And so I know neither of my kids are going to grow up to be writers or anything, but there were and are some very important skills in that curriculum that I believe they needed to learn how to do, that I feel really good about. And so we did those, we accomplished those lessons. We might revisit the IEW idea here in another year, maybe after the end of this year, revisit that again with my 2 other boys. But my oldest is good with that. We're good and ready to move on, and that's what we did. Really loved and enjoyed the literature study side of things. Like, we've not really ever done that, and so it's been a lot of fun. I think as far as that goes, that's pretty much everything we've switched up this year, everything we've changed, and just kind of a good update on how it's going. So I hope it encourages you to go your own way in your homeschool and do things your own way. Don't follow anybody else or the way anyone else is doing anything. Don't go your way, do your thing. Be comfortable and confident to go your way in your homeschool, and trust God that He will bring and provide all the things. Sharing these updates with you guys because I know some people want to know how things are going, especially when you switch curriculum or something, like, hey, how did that turn out? And obviously every kid and every family and every homeschool style is different. We're all at different places in our journey. If I knew when I very first started what I know now, oh mama, how different our homeschool journey would look. But I'm grateful for the journey that's brought us to where we are. But that's why I like to share how we're doing things, just for encouragement for moms. It can be overwhelming, it can be a lot, but don't be afraid. Be afraid to blaze your own trail. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's. So I hope that encourages you. Thank you for being here for another update, just talking about how things are going this year in our homeschool year. I'll be back for another video very soon. Until then, take care.